everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be here with you today to do a fresh planner spread. It has been quite a while since I have filmed a plan with me, so I'm really excited to be back here. I have still been, I sometimes take little like hiatuses from filming, but I do keep up with my planner. It's just a matter of when I have time to film and edit the videos. It's just been a wild couple of months. I think the last video I posted was maybe a month ago, maybe 5 or 6 weeks. But it has just been super busy. So I'll share a little bit more about that with you, but just to let you know before I start, I am gonna go with squad goals today. We are a little over halfway through September, which means this week, the first day of fall should be coming up. I believe it will be the 20th or 21st. That's usually when it is. I'll have to double check the date. But I'm going to use the Squad Goals fall stickers. I'm really in the mood for fall, ready for everything pumpkin. I went out today and got some fall and Halloween decor for my house, which was super exciting. So yeah, I'm just in that kind of mood. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some of these stickers, and I will let you know some of the things that I've been up to the last several weeks. So I had vacation in August, and then that was like early August, I guess, probably like that first week, I believe. And I'm not sure when my last video before that was. It was probably sometime in July, so I think I missed like all of August. I was away at the beach for that first week, and then when I came home, I had 1 week before it was my sister's baby shower. So I was wrapping up a bunch of loose ends with that. So that was, it ended up really nice. Everyone had a good time. Everything looked really pretty. It was just like a real honor to be able to plan and put that together for my sister. She is the first of the 3 of us to have kids, so it's kind of like a really big deal. And we all had fun just spoiling our future nephew. So yeah, that was August, and then I went back to work that next week. We started having all of our like in-services and teacher training days and things like that. And then the very last week of August, like close to the end, my sister had her baby, and he is the cutest thing that I have ever laid my eyes on in my entire life. Like, oh my gosh, I can't get over it. It's so weird. Like, I know, obviously I've known plenty of people that have had babies, but like, I don't know, it's different when it's in your family. It's different when it's your sister. And I guess it's different too when it's the first child in your immediate family. So yeah, that's just been really exciting for everybody, getting to meet him, being super careful, of course, just because he is a little baby with no immune system, and unfortunately there's still a virus out there that no one wants him to get, so we're always really careful when we go over. We make sure that we are wearing masks and wash our hands all the time, and like don't kiss up on him and everything. But it's been so exciting to get to meet the little baby. What else? Oh, so then I went back to work, and it's just been a very crazy, hectic start to the school year. Last year, we kind of thought that was going to be a wild ride last year, but it really wasn't, because we had so much time like out of work, whether because different buildings were like quarantined, or some buildings, like depending on grade level, were doing like a hybrid model. So we didn't have 100% of the kids in person all year. And it also was kind of like, the kids we would all be in school for a couple weeks, and then they'd kind of get a break because of, buildings shutting down temporarily or whatever and doing online learning. And then they'd come back for a couple weeks, and then we'd have another break. So it's just been a real challenge having 100% of the kids back in school full time without those sporadic random breaks thrown in. So it has just been a really busy start to this school year. I have been so tired. The last like 3 weekends since being back at work, I've planned to do a planner video and like I'm all hyped up about it, and then the time comes and I've just been exhausted. Like most Saturdays I've been taking like 2 naps. Like I'll sleep in the morning and then get up and still take a nap. So it's just been really exhausting. But I am really grateful to have like kind of a normal year. Well, I shouldn't say normal. It really kind of isn't normal at this point, but I've been grateful to get back closer to kind of what we're used to school being like. And I'm just trying to like stay positive and look in the bright side of things. And like, you know, it's a rough start of the year, but hopefully once the kids get that endurance back for being in school all day, it will be less of a struggle. We can only hope. So let me put some more. I need a couple like little labels. I'm loving like all these fall colors already, I'll say that. Let's put in all the things for the other side down here. And then I feel like, well, I don't know if I need any more full box stickers. I might come back to that. And I do have some like fall kind of flowers, like fall looking flowers, but I don't know if I want to use them. Maybe for a few pops of color here and there, I'll just grab a couple and see how it goes. There we go. Okay, so I think for right now, that's probably gonna be enough. I'm hoping that this washi is enough. I think if I recall correctly from before, this ends up being enough to go across the bottom. So that is good. I do want to quickly check what day of the week that first day of fall is, because I think that's where I'm going to put this sticker. I don't like to be inaccurate when I put things down. If it's not fall yet, I really don't want to put down an it's fall sticker. So let me, since I'm filming on my phone, I gotta grab my laptop here beside me real quick and take a little look and figure that out. And I realized today, sorry, I had to let my dog in because he was laying outside in the hallway and I could hear him. I realized today that I have not used some of my Coffee Monsters Coast stickers in a little bit. I'm hoping I didn't miss, oh look, there's a first day of fall one, yay, perfect. And then I still have like a Halloween and Thanksgiving one for later in the fall, but let's look and see if there's any other ones here that we want to use. I think I might put this little slothy guy, or maybe I'll use the little book read. Maybe I'll use both. We'll use the book and we'll also take this little sloth. Those are all super cute. All right, and that's gonna be it for now with those. I would like to order some more Coffee Monsters Coast stickers. Like, they're so cute. And I'm starting to see my collection dwindle down a bit, so I think it's time for some new ones. I know in the last few times that I filmed, I kept saying I needed to order some more Chelsea Brown design stickers. I finally did. I actually ran out of my sleep and habit trackers on the one on the one spread. I just kind of drew it on. It doesn't look great, but then luckily they showed up for the next week in time to use on my planner. So let's take a look and see which color scheme is going to go the best. I do like this orange, but I think this is so orange heavy. I might actually go with that mint green. That one's really pretty. And I also still have a lot of yellow left though. I think I like the green. I think I like that kind of like unexpected little pop of color with that one. So I think we'll do that. And let me flip this over because I'm out of room. So we'll put a sleep and habit tracker. So this color scheme I'm using right here with the, nope, not that one. Hold on. Did I just pull it from the wrong? Oh, it's fine. So I'm trying to keep them like matched up here. So this color scheme is the Lexi palette. It has the black, the gray, the pink, and the mint. And then I also got the Kelly color palette, which that color palette is green, purple, blush pink, and orange. So I got those. I was trying to mix it up a little bit because I feel like I always had like these bright colors, and I wanted to try to get like some pastels. So I got those. I did get another set of the Alicia Color Palette Sleep and Habit Trackers just because I still have several day of the week headers in that Alicia color palette. So I got another of those so I can finish off the day of the week headers. And then these are just leftover older ones that I had. I think I'm going to use some of these workout stickers this week. But let me go ahead and get those headers pulled. And we're going to go ahead and also do some of the workout stickers. I'm trying to figure out the best color. Probably the yellow, because I really don't have a matching green. Purple doesn't really go. So yeah, I think I'll go with my yellow. I'll do a hot pink too. Do those match? Not really. Okay, so we're just gonna go with all yellow, which sadly means that I'm going to be out, not out, but almost out of my yellow workout tracking stickers here. That is unfortunate, but I can always order more of those. You know, I will say, I know I've kind of plugged Chelsea Brown Designs before on my channel, but I haven't talked about it a whole lot lately. These stickers are like incredible. They are just, I can make stickers, like I know how to make stickers and I have made my own stickers, but there is something about the quality of these paper, and I know that's like something that sticker makers don't share, is like what kind of paper they use or where they get their paper. So I have no idea what she uses, but the quality of this paper is just so nice. It's like, it's matte, but it's almost kind of glossy, like, and very thick, and I just really like the quality of the stickers. So definitely check out her Etsy shop if you have a passion planner and want to decorate it a little bit. She has great functional stickers. She does kits too, but I've never bought any of the kits because I tend to just put my own stickers together, or if I do buy a kit, which is rare, I usually have a couple other shops I like for those. So, but just wanted to plug that. And as I start to, let me move some things out of the way. As I start to put everything down on the page, I want to go through some of the books that I read. I believe the last book and the last video, as I was looking through my books, it kind of jogged my memory, and I think the last one that the last time I posted a video, I believe it was Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I think I talked about that book in that video. Ooh, I think I like that. So, and I have my list of books. I actually have, okay, real quick, this, I don't usually do this planner on this channel, but I have a book planner, and so I have like my monthly spreads here of the books that I've read laid out so that I can remember to share them with you as I go here. So I'm going to go through and talk about some of the books that I've read since Survive the Night. I think I already reviewed Survive the Night, but in case I didn't, just a real like quick recap. Survive the Night it takes place in, I believe, the early 90s. So it follows this girl, Charlie. She's looking for a ride home. She uses like in the library, they have like a community board where there's like a ride share. She finds someone to give her a ride home. They obviously don't have cell phones at that point in time. And as she takes this trip home with this guy driving, she's starting to believe that he may be a serial killer who has been killing people on campus, including her best friend. So we go through this ride with her. I have to be honest that I wasn't super impressed with the book. I think the premise sounded very interesting, but it just took, like, there were too many twists and turns for it to be believable. And then I can't help but just the main character, Charlie, like, I just felt like she was always doing like dumb things, like sort of how when you watch a horror movie and you're like yelling at the screen, you're like, no, like, don't go down to the basement, and then the character does. That was like Charlie through the entire book. So I wasn't super impressed with it. I think I gave it like 3 stars because it was fairly quick read. It was kind of entertaining, but it just wasn't really my cup of tea. That was my first Riley Sager book, and I've heard a lot of positive things about him, so I'm definitely willing to check out some more of his books. If you have other favorites by him or you really enjoy certain books by him, leave a comment below so that I know what to check out the next time I'm in the mood for a creepy thriller book, because I do want to see, I want to see if the hype is real, because to me the hype was not real for Survive the Night, but maybe some of his other books live up to the hype. Next, I finished reading Half Sick of Shadows. I actually had started that before I started Survive the Night, and I almost DNF'd it. I decided to just take a pause and put it down and come back to it because I just was really bored by it, and I don't know if it was just such a slow start or if I just wasn't in the mood for that kind of book, but I really wasn't feeling it when I started it, so I put it down, read Survive the Night, and then went back to it, and I ended up loving it. I gave it 4 stars. It's like a retelling of the Arthurian legend of Sir Lancelot, but it's told from the perspective of, I can't even remember her name, that's horrible. I want to say Ellen, but it's not Ellen. Anyway, it's told from the perspective of, maybe it's Eileen, Lady Eileen. I don't remember, guys. See, now I'm going to lose all credibility for this book, but it was a good book. I'm not usually into, like, you know, legends and myths and things like that, but I did enjoy it. I would recommend checking it out if you are a fan of that kind of stuff, and even if you're not, it was good. I enjoyed it. It definitely turned around for me, and I ended up really liking it. I will say that. I don't remember enough details to give a full synopsis because I tend to forget things fairly quickly after I read them, unfortunately. So yeah, so I won't be giving a full synopsis of that. Let me flip to the back though quickly. It is going to bug me that I can't even remember the main character's name. I feel like it is Lady Eileen, but I feel like I'm going to make fun of myself for that. Lady Elaine. See, I was right. It was Elaine, not Eileen. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me get a little sip here. I'm drying up. The next book I read in July was Honey Girl. That was a really kind of cute coming of age story about this girl. And once again, I don't remember the main character's name. Throughout the book, the other main character just refers to her as Honey Girl, so I really don't remember her first name, but it was a really good read. It was a story about this girl who goes to Las Vegas, ends up getting married there drunkenly. So like she wakes up with this girl, doesn't know it's her wife, but she doesn't know her name. And her wife lives in New York. So Honey Girl is kind of in this high pressure situation of like trying to find a job after finishing her PhD program. And she decides to go to New York to kind of visit and get to know her wife, and you get to kind of follow her along as she has to make that decision between like sticking with her planned out kind of life that she thought she was going to have, and now she has this other alternative that she could choose, and so you get to kind of go along with her for that ride as she figures out what she really wants to do with her life. So I enjoyed that book. I believe I gave it 4 stars. It's hard for me to remember. I have to flip back and forth between my like synopsis that I write down. Yeah, I gave that book 4 stars. Next book I read, and I should say the next book I finished because it was an audiobook that I was working on for months. I finally got through The Stand by Stephen King, and oh my god. That is probably the longest and wordiest book that I have ever read in my entire life. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a really, really good premise for a story. There were certain characters that I absolutely loved. Like I loved Tom Cullen, but they weren't quite redeeming enough for the rest of the book that I got really bored with. I wish if the book had been more about like Tom Cullen's experience in this like apocalyptic world, I probably would have given it 4 or 5 stars, but it switched back and forth between character perspectives, which is normally fine, but it was like a 1,400 page book. I think the audiobook was like 50 hours long, and Stephen King just really needs a better editor. There's just so many details, like too many details. So that was a 3-star for me. I think that was maybe being a little generous because I didn't fully love it, but I also saw like the potential of it and enjoyed some parts of it, so I didn't want to totally like say it was awful. The next book I read was 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard, and this was a mystery thriller taking place during the pandemic, and it was about, the book was about a couple who met at the very, very beginning of the pandemic, and when it's announced that they need to go into lockdown, they decide to live together and give that a try and see how things go. And at the end, one of them ends up dead. So the story goes through the investigation and trying to figure out like who died and who was responsible for that death. And there was a twist at the end. It wasn't a super memorable book, to be honest. I gave it 3 stars. It was entertaining, but I even said in my synopsis, a bit forgettable. There was a lot of skipping around in the timeline, and it just, to me, like, normally I'm okay with timeline skipping around, but the way they did it, it felt a little bit confusing and disoriented to me, or disjointed, I guess is a better word. It just wasn't my favorite. It was okay. It was, like I said, a pretty entertaining read. It just wasn't really like my cup of tea for a mystery thriller. Next up was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This was another book that has a ton of hype around it, and honestly, I didn't feel it like other people felt it. I thought it was kind of boring. I struggle sometimes with fantasy. Like, fantasy can be done really well and like suck me in, and I love it. Other times, it just doesn't float my boat. I thought it was a little boring. The last like quarter of the book was pretty good. I gave it 2 stars. Don't hate me for that. Tell me in the comments if you've read that book, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you loved about it. Because like I said, there is a lot of hype, so I'm curious to hear what others thought about it, but it just wasn't for me. Next up was What Comes After by Joanne Tompkins. It was the first book that I finished in August. It was a Book of the Month book. I put off reading it for quite a while because I heard that it was a sad book, and I kept like feeling like I wasn't quite in the mood for that. But I ended up loving it. That was a 5-star book for me. The book is about that's crooked. The book was about these 2 boys who died. They were best friends. One killed the other and then killed himself. Their parents live next door to each other, so they kind of have like an awkward relationship. And then this girl shows up, this homeless girl. She shows up, she's pregnant, she's connected to both of the boys, and it kind of is a little bit of a mystery that, the adults are trying to figure out. She ends up living with the one boy's father, who again is neighbors with the other boy's mother. And so you kind of get to go through the story and figure out like how she knew the boys, kind of what happened between the boys, and just you kind of get to see the healing of the parents. So it was a really beautiful story. It's definitely a heavy topic. It was sad at times. It was beautiful at times. So yeah, I recommend it. It's, like I said, it's a pretty heavy read. Wednesday. So enjoyable, but definitely read it at a time when you're prepared for a heavier story. Next up was Fantastic Land by Mike Bakoven. This was an audiobook I listened for free on Audible. It was one of the like included in your membership books, which I love. It was very good. I gave it 4 stars. The story is a what's that called? Why am I forgetting the word? It is a, oh my gosh. Words are like not working for me today. I'm struggling with my words. Anyways, that's not where I want to put those. It is about this group of people who are inside of this, working at or visiting this theme park called Fantastic Land that is near Orlando and Disney and all that. And this hurricane comes through and floods the park, and they get stuck, stranded in the park, and the story is what happens to them as they are waiting to be saved by rescue workers. It's super creepy. It very much is like Lord of the Flies, where they ended up with like different like factions of people like working together, and they kill people, and they're basically just like trying to survive. Very, very creepy story, but I really liked it. It was great on audiobook too, because it's told like through interview style. So each chapter was a different interview with someone who was living in the park at that time. So you got to hear different perspectives of the different people who were there. Then the next book I read was Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapena. I'm not sure how you say her name, so I apologize. That is another like 3-star, pretty good book, but kind of meh to me. It's a story about a family, very rich family. They have Easter dinner together. There's a big fight, and then the parents end up dead. And the story is trying to figure out who did it. All of the kids kind of start to turn on one another and believe that one of them did it. So it was entertaining. It kind of felt like Clue, but like for adults. And I will say I did not like any of the characters, and they weren't written to be likable, so I understand that, but it did make it a little hard to be invested in the story and care about it as much. And it felt a little bit, it felt a little bit like the author tried too hard to make it like twisty-turny, if that makes sense. Again, it was a good story, it wasn't great. Then the next book I read was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. That was an audiobook, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. If you're going to read that book, do it on audio, because the voice acting is incredible. Just so good. The narrator kind of, to me, sounded like Tom Hanks, which I really enjoyed. So I really loved it. That was a 5-star for me, and I'm not usually like a sci-fi type of reader, but I just loved it. Highly recommend it. Probably one of my favorite books of the year. And brief synopsis is the book starts out with this guy. He is in a spaceship, and he has been in a coma. He has no idea why he's there, who he is. He has like memory loss from the coma, and over time you start to get to learn why he's there, and he starts to get his memory back, and he basically has to save the Earth from impending doom. So the synopsis makes it sound a little bit like that movie. What's that movie? Armageddon. It's really not. Similar premise, but very different story. Loved it. Again, probably one of my favorite books that I've read this year. Maybe one of my favorite books ever. Then I read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I thought that the book was very cute. Oh, Project Hail Mary was 5 stars. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. 4-star book for me. It was a really great beach read. Alex and Poppy are the two main characters. They are best friends. They go on vacation every year together until one year they end up having a falling out, and then they don't talk for a couple years, which is really sad. And then Poppy invites Alex on like one last vacation together, and she is trying to save their friendship, so we get to watch and see what happens with that. It's a really cute romance. Definitely recommend it. Maybe we won't put that one there. Yeah, we'll put this girl here. I like it. Okay, so that was People We Meet on Vacation. Next up was Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Love this book. This was another 5-star for me. This book was about two dads. Their sons are married and they end up being murdered, the two sons. And then these two dads who are like, you know, they're just kind of like not people you would expect to get along or be friends or hang out together. They set out to figure out what happened to their sons because the case has run cold and the police are basically giving up on the case at this point. So the two dads want revenge for their sons and they want to find out what happened. So they are trying to figure all that out together, and they end up, you know, getting along and becoming friends. And it's a very good story. It was fast-paced, it was interesting, it was also sad at times. That was another 5-star for me, and I really loved it. So I definitely recommend Razorblade Tears. Next up was The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth. This was one I also really enjoyed. It is about these two sisters who, their names are Rose and Fern. Fern, it never explicitly says, but it's alluded to that Fern has some kind of disability and needs a lot of help, like with just like daily life, with like doing all the things that she needs to do on a regular basis. She just needs a lot of help in certain areas, and so Rose has always been her like kind of sister's keeper, like she's always taking care of her and helping her out. But then as the story goes on, we start to learn more. We learn more about their background. We learn more about their mom. And it's just really good. Lots of twists and turns. You don't know what's going to happen. And I just found it really enjoyable. So that's another one I would recommend if you're looking for a good mystery / thriller. Next book I finished in September was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Ali Feeney. It was one of the September Book of the Month options that I chose, and it's about a couple that goes away on a vacation to this like snowy kind of like very quiet, almost deserted area of Scotland. They are trying to fix their marriage because their marriage is not doing well. So they go here as kind of like a last ditch, like, let's get our marriage together kind of thing. And weird things start happening while they're in this, they're staying like in an old chapel that was converted to a home at some point. The book is super creepy, very atmospheric. You feel like you're there in this like deserted area of Scotland in these like snowy, just creepy areas. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not thinking of the correct words, but again, very good, very atmospheric, lots of twists and turns. I really enjoyed the ending of this book and how things kind of tied up, or didn't tie up, maybe is a better word. So yeah, definitely another recommended book. I feel like the last couple books I read in August and then all of the books I read in September were just fantastic. So I'm glad that I had some good books happening, some good reads going on. Right now I'm currently, I just finished listening to Ace of Spades on Audible. That was another good book that I enjoyed. I didn't put it in my planner yet, but basically it is about these two high schoolers named Chiamaka and Devon. And the book is described in like the, I don't know, in like the synopsis or whatever that they put on it as like a cross between Get Out and Gossip Girl. I never saw Get Out. Actually, I never heard or saw either of those things, but I've heard that's a really accurate description for the book. It was really enjoyable. It basically follows these two kids as they are trying to figure out, someone is sharing these secrets about them with the rest of the school, and they are trying to figure out who is doing it and why. And it is a fun ride. 4 stars from me. So I recommend that one. And finally, the book that I am currently working on is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I'm loving it. It's a super cute romance. Chloe, the main character, has fibromyalgia and kind of has this like past experience of her friends and close people sort of not being there for her and kind of leaving her behind because she can't keep up with them. And it's, you know, obviously it has taken a toll on her with having some trust issues and things. And then she meets this guy and they start to fall for each other. And it's just really cute so far. I'm not done with it, but I'm hoping to finish it today. Woo! Anyways, that was a lot of talking. My throat's tired. My mouth's dry. But my planner spread is done. Ta-da! Oh, I also got an Apple Watch, you guys. How did I not have one for the longest time? How did I live without this thing? It's fantastic. Like, I love it, love it, love it. Oh, and lastly, before I go, I wanted to announce I'm super excited. I am once again a Passion Planner ambassador for the upcoming year. They opened back up in, I believe, late July, early August. I was accepted for a second year, and I'm very excited about that. So this is kind of my announcement for you guys to let you know I am doing that again. So my discount code link will always be in the description box of my videos, but if you go to the website and you need a code because you don't have the link handy, my discount code is AmberWade10. You put that into the promo code box and you will get 10% off your order. I believe they are releasing the 2022 planners next month or at the very end of September, so coming up very soon, so keep your eye out for that. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. I apologize again for being gone for so long. I am hoping to be back on a regular posting schedule now. So yeah, thanks for checking back in, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.